You and I are friends, right? Don't answer that. Obviously, there are a lot of problems in the case that overturned Roe v. Wade. But there is one that no one is talking about, and I would like to. But it's also kind of confusing, so let's back up. Let me explain to you how the Supreme Court makes their decisions, because it seems very complicated. But it shouldn't be. They quite literally get a formula sheet for everything. When the Supreme Court is dealing with discrimination of any kind, they have 3 models of review that they can use. The first one is called rational basis review. Rational basis sucks. Rational basis review means that the law in question must have some legitimate government interest behind it. The burden of proof in rational review is on the person challenging it, not the state. Which means the person challenging the law has to prove that that law has no legitimate government interest. Here's the catch. The Supreme Court has never defined a legitimate government interest. So it's very difficult to win against the government in rational basis review. They will make up a legitimate government interest, and you're out of there. When a law is reviewed under rational basis, it almost always stays around. Second up to bat, we have intermediate scrutiny. That means the law in question has to further an important government interest. Remember rational basis? They said a legitimate interest. Now it's an important one. It's not that different, right? The only difference is instead of the challenger, now the government has the burden of proof, which means the government has to prove that they have an important government interest in the law. Intermediate scrutiny is used in laws that mention gender. If a law even mentions gender and someone accuses it of being discriminatory, basically the government has to prove that they have an important government interest behind the law being in place. Have they defined important government interest? Also no. So does intermediate scrutiny suck? Kind of. Just not as bad as rational basis. You know what I'm saying? We're going up the ladder. Boom! Let's talk top of the ladder. Strict scrutiny. Everyone's favorite. Just give me a minute, okay? It'll be your favorite. If a law even mentions race, religion, national origin, or a fundamental right, it must fall under strict scrutiny. When a law falls under strict scrutiny review, strict scrutiny means that the government has to prove that the law is necessary to achieve a compelling state interest. If you're hoping a law is getting overturned, you are hoping for strict scrutiny. A lot of awful laws go there to die. So why do I tell you this? When Roe v. Wade was decided, they decided it under our right to privacy, which is a fundamental right. Strict scrutiny. But when they overturned it, they used rational basis. They changed the level of review so they could overturn it. They didn't explain why they changed it. They just knew they'd lose.